another episode of Conversation with a Chef. I'm Jo Ritty and I love sharing with you the conversations I get to have with talented and passionate chefs. It's the backstory, if you will, to the food they're putting up. I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the land where this conversation takes place. Land which was never ceded. Land where communities came together to eat seasonally, locally and without exhausting resources. I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Today I'm chatting to Robin Wagner, winner of the S.Pellegrino Young Chef 2022-23. Josh Niland described the dish Robin Wagner presented at competition as the best dish he'd tasted this year. Another judge wanted to lick the plate clean. The dish was simply called smoked celeriac with Granny Smith apple and crispy taro, and it won him the Regional Finalist title. And when they say regional, they mean the Pacific region. Next year, Robin will fly to Milan to join the finalists from other regions around the world, competing for the overall award. Robin started his cooking career in Germany, working in fine dining Michelin restaurants, restaurant Vendôme and Villa Merton, before moving to Australia and working at Sydney's Sepia and Daylesford's Lake House. He now calls South Australia home and works as sous chef to Scott Huggins at Penfold's Magill estate just out of Adelaide. Perhaps you caught last week's chat to Scott. Robin is, of course, honoured to have been chosen for the award, but he also got so much out of meeting and being part of the community of chefs the competition creates. I really loved hearing about chefs meeting and connecting and helping each other out and working on food that has a positive impact in the world. Hi Robin, it's Jo here from Conversation with a Chef. How are you?
Good, yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thanks for your time today. I imagine you've got lots of things to do all the time.
It's okay. It's a little bit busier now, especially with Christmas.
I bet. Yeah. I actually just spoke to Scott Huggins the other day, kind of coincidentally, before I knew I was going to speak to you. So it's nice to speak to you as well. Congratulations on being named the best young chef in the Pacific region for the S.Pellegrino Young Chef of the Year. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
It's so good. I'd like to talk a bit about that and then perhaps a bit about your background as a chef and your journey so far. I cannot even believe it. The photo looks incredible and it sounds like there's only 3 ingredients: the smoked celeriac, Granny Smith apple and crispy taro. Tell me, how did you come up with that? Now, you're not vegan and it's a vegan dish. Can you just give me a little bit of a background on how you came to that?
Yeah, literally, there's no specific background. So I'm normal trained. I'm having a little bit European influence because I'm originally from Germany.
Yes.
And I came over to Australia 2017 with my wife. Scott pretty much provided me. So I'm there for 4 years now, and I got a lovely, literally, pretty much like a canvas in regards to that, which he provided me to try things and to develop. And my passion is most of the time for vegan and vegetarian, because we always try to having the same experience for everyone. Which is not always very easy, and we're having a very strong vegan or also vegetarian menu which we can provide anytime for any customers, for any kind of dietary pretty much, which starts off with snacks and just continues full on. And it's how this whole dish literally came up, because it's just always, most of the time it's brainstorming, and we haven't thought for anything specifically. It just came up. It was a very long process to get there where it was.
Yeah.
And I'm still having all the notes and all the stuff written down as I started with. But how long did it take? Probably 3 to 4 months.
Wow.
And it was the way that was before the pandemic. This dish was already on the menu 2 years ago, 2.5 years. And at this time, it was pretty much spring as well, and we had it more like a cleanser, so between fish and meat dishes.
Yeah.
So always just to have, pretty much like to clear the whole palate in your mouth to provide yourself for the following cut or next chapter, pretty much. Because our menu is always pretty much the same structure in regards to having the snacks at the beginning, which is already a whole journey. And then you continuing most of the time with 2 fish courses and 2 meat courses. And then it depends how we're going to go with the 5th course in the center. And at this time it was the celeriac dish.
Yeah, wow. And so the celeriac is smoked, and then what else do you do with that? How is that? I guess how's it presented? How's it then come together with the apple and the taro?
Yeah, if we're talking about smoked celeriac, so literally it's not the root itself is smoked, it's the process, how it is prepared.
Okay.
So we're cooking a normal celeriac puree. So we're taking all the husk off when we're peeling the root itself. Then the root gets toasted and roasted. So it's quite dark. So we're having this kind of earthy flavors, which we're also using after if it's roasted, it gets dry for 24 hours in a dehydrator and then gets blitzed to an ash, pretty much like a powder. And we're using the root itself, cook it in soy milk until tender, and then we just prepare it like a normal puree. But we finish it off with a smoked oil. So literally we're smoking normal grapeseed oil and gets smoked for 3 to 5 hours, and then we just literally emulsify it like a mayonnaise, but just a vegan way. So it's literally you're getting this kind of smokiness much deeper, and you're having the chance to adjust it depending how the flavor of the puree itself is. Because it's always quite hard. You're not having always consistency with the root itself. Sometimes it's a little bit stronger or weaker. It really depends how the season comes up and how the weather is also looking. If you're having now very rainy conditions at the moment in the SA, the flavors and the terroir is also always different. So it's a little bit easier to adjust. Then we're having a crispy taro. It's just a normal taro root, which gets sliced on a meat slicer quite thinly. And then we fry it to have this kind of crispiness. And having also a braised celeriac, which is just the root itself, also thinly sliced on a meat slicer. And then we're having also 2 different kind of reductions. We're having a Granny Smith apple reduction and a celeriac apple reduction. So this whole dish is also based just on acidity and sweetness from the own ingredient. So there's no added sugars or anything.
Wow.
So my intention for this whole thing was also not being consistent with vegan, gluten-free and dairy-free. It's also not to adjust or add on any sugars, any kind of sugars which you can buy, for example, all the castor sugar icing sugar. There's no honey added. It's just the pure acidity and the pure sweetness from the vegetables itself. Having a millefeuille, as I said, gets literally just baked in the oven and compressed overnight, and then also gets charred over charcoal or in the pan. Depends how we're going. And then it's just going to finish off with an Granny Smith apple Wellington. Yeah, it sounds like quite a bit, but it's quite simple on the plate, and that's what we're actually aiming for, having this complex simplicity.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I read that Josh Niland, one of the judges, said that it was the best dish he's had all year, so that must feel pretty good.
I have not thought I would make it that far. It was already an honor just for being part of it and competing, and all the connection which we had with S.Pellegrino and how they have everything provided with all the other chefs. And then having this kind of thing was just bloody amazing. I was literally aiming for the Thought Award because it was everything. Just I made so many ideas and had such a lot of thinking about this whole dish, how it's going to be and how it's going to turn out. And then having this kind of statement from Josh Niland was just incredible. It made my day. I think it was even more rewarding than the trophy itself, I reckon.
Wow. I can understand that. Absolutely. And have you done other competitions in the past?
Well, I just competed once randomly 2018 Saver pastry. It was more like, it wasn't just a pastry competition. It was more like to figure out where I'm at at this point, because I had a little bit pastry background over from Europe, but I wasn't trained in that kind of stuff at all. So all the classics with tarts and eclairs and everything. So it was just to see and how it goes. But it was alright. It was, I think, my only one. It was just nice to see all the other competitors and to have connections and stuff, and having this kind of community as well.
Well, that's when I was reading about the S.Pellegrino competition, it really feels like they are fostering community, and I like the idea that they have an alumni, so once you get past a certain age, you're not a young chef anymore, but you can still be part of their community. And I really like that idea for hospitality, that it is a community of like-minded people sharing ideas and encouraging one another, and it sounds to me like that's what it was.
And it's pretty much how it's all about. It's not like they'll be competing and having this kind of pressure to avoid to speak to each other or anything. Literally, it's always like a big briefing, and you're just talking to each other, and you try to figure out to understand each other, and how the ideas getting spread, and how you getting this kind of ideas and everything. We had quite a few chefs there that had to improvise as well, because the market did not supply everything on the point. And Mother Nature can be sometimes a little bit tricky, especially in regards to fish. And then we just help each other. Even that happened, that we helped each other and went shopping together or anything a day before and tried to find a solution. It was quite nice. It wasn't even, never had the feeling it would have been a competition. It was, for me, more like a community.
Yeah.
And I was really great for having such a big supporter like Scott, always there and was looking after me and gave me advice. And it was just incredible.
It sounds like such a great thing to be part of. And how are you feeling about, so Milan next year? When is that? What part of next year?
Apparently it's October.
Okay.
October, it's what I got told, but we haven't got any dates yet released. So that's most likely. I think they will change end of January when all the regional finalists from all the other countries have ticked off as well. It's still a few in progress. I think Spain needs to come next, or Portugal.
Okay.
I'm not sure what's going to be. I just saw one of the Europeans, one of the German chefs who won. I texted him straight away and said, we're going to see each other in Milan. And he's just like, looking forward to it. And I never met this person pretty much. So it's going to be great. Quite great.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic.
Do you have to keep practicing that dish up until then?
Let's see how it goes. I think the main intention is to stick to the dish.
Yeah.
I think that's the main reason why people choose and why we should represent the dish again.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I had a little bit thinking already about the proportions, if I will change in regards to that. Because I had the feeling just a few bits and pieces are missing, or you were running short a little bit or something. I was unfortunate I hadn't had the right flowers in this time because the weather was very bad. Usually it wouldn't have been a different garnish.
Yeah.
So it just depends if I'm also able to get that in Italy.
That's right. Yes.
But on the other hand, it's more like to play also a little bit safe, because I'm not sure with all the other competitors, in regards to flying protein or fish over, which are able to provide here in the Pacific, so Atlantic way, in regards to Europe.
Well, exactly right.
It's also very difficult.
Yeah.
So I'm rather happy to have nice vegetables and playing a little bit safe.
Yeah.
And then I'm fine with that.
Yeah. And Robin, I'm sort of interested to know where it all started for you. So obviously you're from Germany. Did you always know you wanted to be a chef?
think so. It's now, how long is it? I think I'm 15 years now in business.
Yeah, right.
I started my career with 15.
Yeah.
I'm turning 30 next year.
Yeah.
Cookery was not always a big part of me, but it was a part. So all of my family is not hospitality related or cookery related. They're actually it's a totally different industry where they're working at. For me, my mom was working a lot, so I had always to provide myself with food. And my grandma was taking care of me, but I always was quite straightforward, and I knew what I wanted to cook on that day, so I did it on my own, and my grandma was just watching.
Yeah.
She just told me the story a couple of weeks ago as we had a chat, and I was like, oh yeah, it was always like this. You provided yourself always with food, and I never were able to taught you anything. You did know everything already. I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah.
No, and then we had always in school, we had this kind of cookery classes, and no one of the males actually attended to, which was quite weird because it was always a woman thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't care. I went always for those classes because in regards to cookery, everyone else went for the technical ones and electricity and all that kind of stuff, and I didn't mind at all. So I just went for that, and then I started my apprenticeship in Frankfurt, which we had one Michelin star first, and then 2 years after we got the second, and we were the first regional and seasonal restaurant in Germany who got a second star. It was literally more like a little bit underrated restaurant in regards to Noma, as Rainer Recipe made this big thing out of it in Copenhagen. It was pretty much the same time, and my former boss did the same in Frankfurt, and so we tried to provide ourselves in the restaurant always. He gave us literally a radius around the restaurant was around 100 to 150 kilometers, and to provide ourselves with ingredients. So we went foraging, preserving a lot to continue during winter when it's quite hard to harvest any vegetables or roots. Just this kind of thinking, to preserve and all this kind of things was just incredible. And then I had the pleasure to continue in Cologne, which was it was a 3 Michelin star restaurant where I stayed at least 3 years, and it was a quite tough time, but it was amazing just to work always so many hours, because your knowledge what I'm having now, or the knowledge which I got over this kind of period, no one is able to take that away from me. I think it's always something when you talk to someone who's not in the same occupation or who's in a different kind of industry, it's just always like, oh yeah, how are you able to do this? You're working so many hours and you're never earning so much money, which is in Europe that kind of way. You're not getting that great paid in comparison to Australia. But the other reward which you're always getting is the knowledge and the experience, and it's something which no one can take from you. I think that's a really big point.
Yeah.
And my head pastry chef this time was the person who taught me all this thinking how to create a dish, because it was always he'd choose an ingredient from the season, and then he was just building literally his mind map pretty much around it. So he choose a peach, and then he's looking, can we use the bark from the tree as well? Can we preserve the leaves? What kind of terroir is the peach growing? And all that kind of stuff. And then he just builds everything around it, and then he ends up with this. It's not even a dish, it's like contemporary art.
Yeah, wow.
And then, as I started in 2014 there, then we were on ranked 10 on the world's 50 best.
Yes.
And then 2015 on rank 12, and then we got downgraded over the last couple of years. This had different reasons, but the experience was amazing. And then I ended up in Australia.
Yeah, right. Was it a culture shock coming here in terms of food or other?
In terms of food, not. I had a trial in England before because we were thinking to go either to England or going to Australia. I had a trial in England and it was a nightmare for me in regards to language. I couldn't understand anyone. Then we had this working holiday as we came over here in 2017, and I really appreciated it. I haven't had any issues with the accent, with the Australian accent at all, so it turned out very well for me. I appreciated that Australians are taking much more care of food and enjoying it much more in regards to breakfast. It's something we celebrate breakfast as well, but you guys just going out each day, pretty much having coffee, having a nice breakfast in the morning, and just or having a late lunch or anything, and you're really enjoying it.
Yes.
And in Germany, you're enjoying it with family, but you're usually not going out that much. So you're having your supper or anything, and then you're just going out. It's quite, it's not happening very often. It's quite seldom. And it's just like Australia's, in regards to food or food culture, probably a little bit back in regards to the years and centuries from a country perspective in comparison to Europe, but you guys appreciate it much more. I think that's something which I really like. I just love to go out for coffee or anything. I'm really coffee addicted, and I think Australia is definitely the reason why. If I'm always going back to Germany, I'm just so disappointed because the coffee culture is just so crap.
Yeah.
The coffee is not great at all. Maybe the bakery skills are a bit better. I think baking is a very big thing over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in terms of the breakfast and lunch culture, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. I think it's something which I could learn that you can, if you really have the passion and stuff, and if you want to step up, you can definitely make it in Australia.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are much more open for all that kind of change. You would appreciate it, and you would spend the money if you're having a nice experience. Germany is always more like, oh yeah, how much money do I have on my bank account? Should I do it? Yeah, you guys are much more spontaneous. You're just going, and it's something we really appreciate. It's just like, it's just nice to be here.
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad. And apart from your winning dish, do you have a favourite dish or ingredient that you're using at the moment?
At the moment, it's a little bit difficult. I think I love John Dory as a fish. I miss the fish market a lot in Sydney because as we started there, fish is a big thing.
Yes.
The NSA is always the problem a little bit with the fish supplies. So in regards to seafood, we're a little bit weak. No, we got on the menu last week, KIs. We got queen scallops from KI. They were amazing and incredible. It just came totally fresh. And they had a chance to harvest after 4 years now. That was something which we put on the menu and got really great feedback. And now we start working on the summer menu, which kicks in next week.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to work with whiting again, for sure. That's something really South Australian, and I think that's a product which we can be proud of.
Yeah, delicious.
Yeah.
And just a final question, so you can go back to your day off. What would your advice be to people who are considering becoming chefs?
To become a chef? I think you should be open for any advice which you're given, either if it's bad or good. It's just the perspective, how you're going to take it in future. Because there's always a point of view where you might to agree or disagree, but on a certain point, it's your kind of perspective, how you decide it. It's what I want to say is, it's really like if you sit from a point of view, if you're having a longer career and you have quite a few mentors, because it's never going to be just one mentor, because as a chef, you literally like it. Yeah, you travel everywhere. You go everywhere and you try to get so many informations and so much knowledge as possible, and to gain so much experience as possible. So you always will have someone who stays above you and teaches you something, and then there's always someone who tries to teach you something, but you never will agree with it. So it's for you the best way just to take it and say frankly yes and to agree. But if you're doing your own thing at the end of a decade, or when you start opening your own business, you're not doing it, but you still took it as an advice.
Robin, thank you. Thanks for your time today and for all that you've shared with me. I've really loved chatting to you, and I look forward to seeing what happens next year in Milan. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Conversation with a Chef with Robin Wagner, the winner of the Pacific Region S.Pellegrino Young Chef competition. You can check out Robin's Instagram. It's at Robin Wagner, but it's spelt at RO3INWAGNER for some incredible food and other photos. I'm also on Instagram at Conversation with a Chef, and if you want to read the chat, you can head to www.conversationwithachef.com. Now, you know I would love it if you told a friend about my chats, and of course you and they can follow me on Apple and Spotify podcasts. Once again, thanks so much for listening and have a great day.